gals and all my non-binary friends. So today I am going to be doing a mukbang. As you can tell, I'm going to be eating this delicious pot pie my mom made last night. It was like a whole pie left of it, and so I got me a good old slice. The election is happening right now, right? So November 3rd is the last day of the election. The election is happening right now. Early voting has started in so many different states, and if you want to find out more information about that, please check out my Vote Save America playlist. It will be in the description box down below. I have all 50 states, individual videos for all 50 states. So if you live in any of the 50 states in the United States between the ages of 18 and 24, please check out those videos. Even if you're older than that or younger than that, please check it out. And yeah, let's get right into the video. I'm going to be stating my case against Donald Trump. Honestly, the problem with Donald Trump is not just Donald Trump, right? It's how we can have a democracy that allows someone like Donald Trump to run and win, steal the election, and also be enabled by surrounding politicians in the same party as him, because they are so attached to power that they are willing to be behind anyone who is going to give them that power, right? All right, so we have to start where anything starts, from the beginning. Well, at least partially the beginning, right? We have to take this back to about 2013, 2014. The 2013, 2014, sometime around there, Russia decides that they're just going to invade neighboring countries, right? Countries that used to be under USSR territory, but have now since succeeded and are now individual countries upon their own. Russia decides that they want to invade these surrounding neighboring countries and take back what is rightfully theirs. And of course, the world freaks out. They're like, what are you doing? We live in a world where if a country says it's an independent country, we don't let them invade, right? And so that's how we become the G6 instead of the G7, because the G7 is a alliance of nations, and Russia was kicked out because they invaded neighboring countries, and the United States and other countries were like, well, that's not cool, right? So then Barack Obama goes further and he starts sanctioning Russia and making all of these like bans against Russia, right? So Russia's like, oh fuck. Like, Vladimir Putin's like, I'm still gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do, but I still want to be a part of the G7, and I still want to not be sanctioned because we need foreign money coming in and not just the oil tycoon lifestyle that we have right now, right? So he's like, damn, what the fuck am I gonna do? Meanwhile, in the United States, Donald Trump is low on cash, and so Donald Trump is like, oh fuck, I need that money because I'm broke as hell and I need money, right? His TV's ratings for his show are lowering. They're thinking about replacing him, all these things. So he needs to make his brand relevant again, make himself relevant again, and make himself profitable again. So what does he do? He decides to run a campaign. And so he runs this campaign and he starts off by calling Mexicans rapists. Right? Anyways, back to 2016. So Donald Trump's like, oh, I need to get money. I need to get attention back on me so people can have a reason to why they want to give me money, right? So he runs for the Republican nomination for president. He gets it. The fuck, he gets it, right? He gets it. And he's like, oh shit, I actually have to make a go of this. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, Hillary's gonna win anyway. I need to be as profitable as I can be. So then he makes a deal with Russia that he's gonna not sanction them if he becomes president if they let him build a tower in Moscow, a Trump Tower in Moscow. He's been trying to do this for years. Like, he's been trying to work in Moscow and in Russia for a long time, make money in Russia for a long time. But to make money in Russia, you need the permission from Vladimir Putin, period. Anyone with money in Russia is tied to Vladimir Putin, because Russia, it's not a democracy. It's a dictatorship / oligarch run kind of system, right? And so it's just a bunch of family who has favor with Putin. Then Putin decides, okay, then you can run this aspect of business in Russia, right? So Trump makes this business deal with Russia. And then him and his campaign starts collaborating with Russia and giving Russia information on like statistics on who's likely to vote for him, who's not likely to vote at all, and who's likely to vote on Hillary, how he's polling in certain areas. Very confidential, important information for his campaign, right? They start giving this stuff to Russia so Russia can know, okay, these are the places we need to target. This place we need to target to convince people, okay, you're right, you don't need to vote. You don't need to vote, just sit down and vote. This place we need to target to convince people, okay, they're independent, right? So we need to figure out, make Hillary look as dirty as she possibly can in this part so they can vote for Trump. So when they say that Russia helped Donald Trump steal the election, Russia didn't go in and like change votes in the system. But what they did was they used disinformation campaigns and hacking information and they disseminated in crucial times during the 2016 election to make people not want to vote, either not want to vote or not want to vote for Hillary. Either way, that would have been good for Donald Trump, right? Fast forward, 2016, we all know how that went. Hillary Clinton wins by almost 3 million points, but loses the Electoral College vote thanks to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. You know how this goes, right? And everyone's like, what the hell? How did this happen? How did Donald Trump win? We all knew that Hillary was going to win. How did this happen? How did this happen? Well, in 2016, the United States government and its intelligence agencies, they listen to Russian phone calls. They're always trying to sneak and trying to find out what the Russians are up to. So they're always listening to the conversations of top Russian officials. And what they noticed at the time was that Donald Trump's people, his campaign people, kept coming up in these phone calls with Russian government officials. And everyone's like, wait, why is Donald Trump's people keep talking to Russia? And so when you hear people say, oh, the Obama administration was spying on the Trump campaign, it's not true. That's not true. What was happening is that the United States government spies on Russia and taps into Russian official phone calls. And a lot of times when they were tapping into conversations that so happened, freaking Trump's campaign people were talking to these people because they were trying to get help from Russia. Period, right? So the Obama administration's like, yo, Congress, we need to tell the American people that these people, they're talking to Russia and they're collaborating with Russia and trying to get Russia to help them win the election because, you know, that's like against the law and undemocratic and like just a loser. Trump is a fucking loser. But anyway. And lo and behold, Mitch McConnell's like, fuck you. You're a fucking nigger, Obama. Fuck you. I'm not gonna do anything with you, even if that means upholding our democracy. Fuck you. It can all burn for all I fucking care. Because guess what? I'm gonna use Trump like a fucking puppet. Just like Russia's gonna use him, I'm gonna use him. Anyway, so Barack Obama's like, oh my God, Mitch McConnell is not willing to work with me? What a surprise. And so because Barack Obama wanted to come out and as a united front with the Republicans, which they literally made it their mission, his whole fucking presidency, to not be a united front with this man, but okay, whatever, last ditch effort to save America, and he wants to work with them and they don't want to work with him. So what does he do? He sanctions Russia. He tells the American people that Russia is trying to interfere, but they don't go far enough to make people understand that Donald Trump is trying to get help from Russia to interfere with the 2016 election, right? And so everyone's so focused on, oh, Hillary Clinton's the problem, that you don't really realize that the reason why everyone's so focused on Hillary Clinton's email is because Russia wanted it that way. Because Barack Obama and the Republicans, Barack Obama wanted to come, like, be bipartisan and be like, hey, the Republicans and Democrats are coming together to tell you that Russia and Trump are trying to steal this election from the American people. And Mitch McConnell wasn't willing to go along with that. So then Barack Obama's like, okay, well then I'll just tell them Russia is interfering because I don't want to seem like I'm trying to hurt Donald Trump's campaign. Fucking asshole. Anyway, so no one takes it seriously, right? But all through the campaign, we're all hearing this. We all was hearing this. You cannot say, when you go back to 2016, there are so many articles talking about how Paul Manafort used to work for this foreign government and how this and that. And just Donald Trump surrounded himself with sus foreign agents. You know what I'm saying? And now, it's so funny that somehow he can be like the law and order president, but he's So many of his people have been indicted, arrested, and as soon as one minute they're hanging out with him, he's saying they're the best person ever, and as soon as they get indicted, oh, I've never seen that person. I've never seen that person. And it's like, okay, how far are we going to let this man go? How many times are we going to let him steal the presidency from the American people? How many times are we going to let him push back democracy and turn us further and further away from democracy? America has never, ever, ever truly lived up to the values that it has set for itself, but we have always tried to pretend like we were working towards those values. And now we're not even pretending. We're outlandishly out here just being anti-democratic, anti-democracy. Literally, Antifa stands for anti-fascist, and we're literally anti-fascist. Like, America was the home of the brave, land of the free. The best democracy in the world was our whole stick. Like, that was our thing. That was our thing. Like, that's what people will know us by. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people think about me, they're like, oh, that's the lady with all the opinions and the big butt. When people thought about America, they were like, that's the person who always pretends like they know the best thing for democracy, right? And so even if people thought that we weren't the best at democracy, they at least knew that that's what we were reaching for. But with Donald Trump, he is not reaching for democracy. He is reaching for a dictatorship because he is trying to avoid the taxes that he owes. He's trying to avoid the creditors that he owes. He's trying to avoid the illegal things that he have done and the repercussions by the justice system, because best believe Donald Trump has cases out, bro. He got cases out on him, on his head. This man is the president who has broken so many laws. He shattered the record for the most indicted members of his cabinet in like the first 100 days of his fucking office, guys. Like, somehow he's a law and order president though. Girl, just shut up and say you racist and go. Like, that don't even make sense. How is Donald Trump, someone who literally is known for surrounding himself with mob-like people and people who go to jail and are in and out of jail, supposed to be the law and order president? So who are you trying to enforce laws on? And who are you, and what kind of order are you trying to have, right? Because the order, it seems to me, is the order of killing and brutalizing and bastardizing anyone who disagrees with Donald Trump, anyone who disagrees with anything you have to say. And as someone who is very opinionated and very, very much, I have my own thoughts, I do not believe anyone's voices should be shut. Anyone's voices should be shut or closed. But if you are an enemy of Donald Trump, that means you are the enemy of the state. And that's not how a democracy works. Just because the president does not like you does not mean that you should be locked up. Does not mean that you should be investigated. Does not mean that you should have to worry about the safety of your family and your loved ones. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. And one of his governors had a kidnap attempt on her head. And he encouraged it and used the same language that the people that tried to do it used to justify their actions. He doesn't care about you unless you are not going against him. And I want you to understand, as a supporter of Donald Trump, even if you support what he does, it will never be enough for him not to be willing to throw you under the bus. His supporters are elderly people. His supporters are people over the age of 40, 60, 50. And this pandemic has shown that he does not give a flying fuck about their lives. Because if he did, he would not be going around after he got diagnosed positive for COVID, spreading it with all these people in these rallies, these maskless rallies. If he cared about his supporters, the people who, besides Black and brown people, are the most vulnerable when it comes to this pandemic, he would have been serious about it. He would have shut down this country. He would have made sure that his supporters understood that wearing a mask doesn't make you weak. It makes you a considerate, caring people. But that's not his brand. His brand is not considerate or caring. And honestly, as supporters, I understand that it's like we're taught, oh, well, he could be an asshole as long as he's my asshole, as long as he's good for me. But I promise you, an asshole is going to be an asshole regardless. And as soon as you stop being convenient to their agenda, they're going to be an asshole to you, and they're not going to give a fuck about your life. Even though you guys are still convenient to Trump's agenda, it profits him more to care about this coronavirus. If he handled this in the right way, he could be skating into the second term. But he can't bother to give a shit about anybody but himself. Not even himself, because he got himself sick. He got his children sick. He got his wife sick. He is irresponsible. He is uncaring. He is unkind to his own supporters and his own loved ones. On top of that, he is so afraid of the American people's voice, of the American people actually standing up for themselves and using their voice and hearing what they have to say. Because if he wasn't, he would not be slowing down the postal service. He will not be fighting against mail-in voting, even though that is the safest way to vote right now during a pandemic. And honestly, it's more convenient for everyone regardless. He would not be fighting against Democrats who want to make election days holidays so everyone can be off and have time to vote. This conversation is not just about Donald Trump. You guys, I haven't even eaten my food. I've been talking so much. This conversation is not just about Donald Trump. It's about the system that allows mediocre people like Donald Trump to rise to the top and on the backs of everyone else without giving a shit about anyone else. And then pretending that he's doing that for the sake of others. When really the only person he's doing it for is himself. Not even his family. He does it for him fucking self. You think that you're getting something. You think that you're getting legitimacy, right? Like, oh, he's finally speaking for me. But he's not speaking for you. He's not. He doesn't give a fuck about what you have to say. Because if he did, he would let you vote without qualms. He will tell you, hey, I don't care who you vote for as long as you're able to vote safely. So we should have mail-in voting in all 50 states. If Donald Trump said that, do y'all understand that we would probably have mail-in voting in most states? If Donald Trump told his anti-masking loving supporters that masks are important and you should take this virus serious, you should social distance, do you understand that we probably would not be 200,000+ people dead right now? He doesn't care about his citizens. He doesn't care about the citizens that aren't for him, and he sure as hell doesn't care about the citizens that are for him. The only thing he cares about is securing his place in power. This is not about Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is an example of all the politicians and all the billionaires and all the business people who have used their power and their platform to not only enrich themselves but hurt millions of others people, including the people that support him. Everybody says, oh, Donald Trump is a businessman. He's going to run America like a business. But what do American businesses do? What do American business CEOs actually do for the businesses and the people that they're running, right? So let's think about that, right? Most of these CEOs don't give their employees fair wages. So if Donald Trump is running America as a businessman, he's not going to give us fair wages. Most of these employers are not trying to pay for the full health care for benefits for their employees. So as Donald Trump as president, he's not going to try to pay for full health care. He's fighting ACA. He has people in court right now fighting the ACA, fighting protections for your health care right now while he talks about how he wants to protect it. He doesn't want to protect it. What do these CEO and businessmen do when they're running their businesses? They don't give these families daycares, even though they say that they care about families, right? We're a family, right? That's what businesses love to say. Oh, we're a family. We really care about you. But do we have paid time off for family members who have children? Do we have daycare and childcare for family members who have children who need help? No, we don't. And Donald Trump is going to run America just like that. These businessmen and you wanting Donald Trump to run America like a business, he has. He's done that. You're right. He's done that. He's run America like a business, and he's lined his pockets with Americans, with taxpayers' dollars. He's tried to take away rights from us, like CEOs try to take the rights from their workers. That's what he's done, and that's what all these business people do. Corporations will not save you, and I understand that you see Donald Trump and you're like, oh, maybe I'm next in line. Donald Trump is a businessman. He has money, so maybe that money will just rub off on me and I'll be a businessman and I don't have to worry about the problems of the little man. But you should be worried about the problems of the little man, because guess what? You are a little man. And even if you become a big person, you should still care about the people that are less fortunate, period. America has a chance to decide if they want a democracy or not. And I know, I'm not saying that Joe Biden is some hero who is perfect and without faults. Trust me, he has a lot of faults. But at least he thinks that we should be a democracy. At least he wants you guys to have your voices heard, even if you don't vote for him. He still wants you to be able to vote by mail. Even if you don't vote for him, he wants you to be at home safe so you can vote by mail and have your voice be heard. Can you say the same for Donald Trump? You cannot. This democracy is a constant thing that we all have to work on, right? So it's not about just getting rid of Donald Trump or just getting rid of Mitch McConnell or just putting Joe Biden in. It's about putting in people who are going to work to make this work for everybody, and also being willing to run and do that civic duty of participating and giving money to organizations that's doing the work on the ground. It's about knowing who is running for city councilman and sheriff and district attorney and prosecuting attorney, because those are the people who decide how policing works in this country. This is not a video just about Donald Trump. It's a video about how we as Americans have a choice this November to decide whether or not we want to flip further and further into a dictatorship, corrupt ass government, or if we want to go forward and try to fight for democracy every election, not every 4 years, but every time there's something on the ballot. If we want to fight for democracy every time and contemplate doing that civic duty of running ourselves or encouraging the people we know who are worthy of these offices to run themselves. We have to be invested in government at every level, because government at every level affects our lives. You might think that Donald Trump has not negatively affected you in any way, and that's why you're not worried about participating or you're okay with voting for him. But I promise you, eventually he will. I promise you, even if he doesn't, he's hurt enough people that you should not want that person to represent you, because you are better than that. I don't know. That's all I gotta say, man. It's not about Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. It's about democracy versus a cheater, a liar, a scammer. It's about being willing to take this back from the billionaires who have taken advantage of this system that was always rigged to work in their benefit. I know we all might want to burn it down, but if you burn something down, honestly, you're probably going to burn people with it. You're probably going to leave people behind. I don't know. I really want people to understand that there are people invested in making sure that you don't care enough to vote, or that you are so confused that you end up voting for a guy who is literally against everyone, including his own supporters. So what I'm saying is, how about we try someone else for a while? And at the worst, what's going to happen? Donald Trump won't ever be allowed to be president again. But when you really think about it, is that so bad? All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video informative. I really, really hope that you're making a plan to vote. I really, really, really hope you really seriously contemplate running for office, because it takes all of us participating in this every time there's something on the ballot, but also being willing to do that civic duty of participating in organizations who are doing the work on the ground in your communities, and doing that civic duty of running for office ourselves, or encouraging the people that we love and the people that we know are worthy of these offices to run themselves. With that being said, please take care of yourselves. And I promise you, by taking care of yourself, that means not voting for Donald Trump and voting for Joe Biden. Take care of each other, and I promise you that means not voting for Donald Trump, but voting for Joe Biden. Wash your face, wash your hands, wear a mask. Again, if you wear a mask, that's a vote for Joe Biden. Wash your ass and don't be an asshole. Again, that's a vote for Joe Biden. Bye.